self-leadership and team leadership. Two essential skills if you want to reach goals in a modern world, of course. And we live in a world that is constantly changing, with terabytes of information flowing around us daily. So there is no option to use methods from 30 years ago or 100 years ago, because your business environment is totally different now. That is why today I will take you on a journey through the effective ways of self-leadership and leading the teams. And I do believe that this knowledge is useful and applicable for every adult who wants to achieve their goals, and at least part of their job, so part of your job, is connected to working in a team or with a team. So let's get started. So hello and welcome to Self-Leadership and Agile Teams. And on a weekly basis we'll focus on three main aspects, which is self-leadership and becoming a leader of others. Then agile mindset in business and in personal life, as well as agile and high performance teams. And all the episodes you are seeing here on YouTube are with transcript on my website. So if you prefer to read, you will find the link in the episode description, and as well as a podcast. So you will find it in good podcast applications, link as well below. And I'm Asha Juba, coach, agile coach, and host of Self Leadership and Agile Teams. And today we'll focus on the first topic. So, how to lead yourself and to lead the teams. So let's get started. So we'll start with self-leadership, the basic rules. Why with self-leadership? Because there is no good leader that is not able to lead yourself, so oneself. That is why we focus on self-leadership first, and then as a next step you may go to the level of leading teams. But what does it mean, self-leadership? So first of all, this is taking responsibility of yourself, your own life, and the things you want to achieve. So it doesn't mean that it has to be huge goals, something enormous and fantastic for you, like a huge, everyone will say, wow, that's so big. No, it is becoming a greatest version of yourself in the area that you want to focus on. And it is up to you how big it's going to be. That is the case. And you may think of self-leadership as an ability to intentionally influence ourselves. So yourself, you are intentionally influencing yourself to achieve the objectives you want to achieve, the ones that are important and matter to you. And this is the foundation of all the actions that you are taking. And what is important, we are talking here about leading, not managing, because there is often confusion around it and about it. And you may manage your tasks, your career, your knowledge. I do love this topic, and we'll talk about it, I think, in future for sure, in a couple of episodes. So you may manage your time as well and different elements of your life, but in general, you want to lead yourself and your life. You want to be a leader of yourself. That is a different level when you think about it. That is the intentionally influencing yourself and achieving your goals. And those all elements of managing different parts of your life, this all combines into leading. That is how we understand it. If we know what does it mean, self-leadership, and why it's important, we'll start with what to do now. So how to start becoming a leader of self and self-leader. So first of all, start with why. So understanding what is underneath it. And I have two questions for you. First of all, it is ask yourself, why exactly do you want to do something? And focus on that question for some time. Find the answer or start digging to find this answer. And the second one is, what is the expected outcome? of of what you want to achieve. So what is the expected outcome of it? What do you want to achieve? And this is the second question, the second layer, I would say, what is good to focus on. And to be honest, with all the people I have worked for my professional life, so more than 14 years already, there is no true results without finding the answers for those questions. It doesn't mean if it's on your personal level or business level you want to lead yourself, it doesn't really matter. If you do not understand the answers and you have not found the answers for those questions, at least the starting point for it, it will be very hard for you to achieve what you truly want to achieve and become a true leader of self. And I do understand that very often it is hard to find an answer for that. And even it is hard to ask yourself that because you will never know what the answer would be. Yeah, and sometimes it's even scary, I would say. And the second element that it is much easier just to create a to-do list and cross out the things from your to-do list, just answer emails, just read the book, just let's say enroll to a new training and so on and so forth. But if you do not have the answers to what is on, let's say, meta level of that, so the high ground, what do you truly want to achieve and what is the outcome and why exactly you want to do that, it is just crossing out the things that may not lead you to the objective that you want to reach. And another dimension of it is that I often have the impression that we hear those questions like start with why, ask yourself what is behind it, and so on and so forth. But do we just hear it and the voice of it, the questions are just passing us by and we do not focus on it? So that is why I would suggest you, if you are ready for that, just start today and ask yourself those two questions and see what will be the result. Other element is that if you are not used to answering those questions, sometimes it may be also, I would say, hard to find an answer, or sometimes it is time consuming. I remember the program I have done with product owners I worked with in one of the companies, and I have started asking them questions during a consultation. What is the value, the benefit of this feature to your customer? And at the beginning, very often, if product owner was not used to that question, so just focusing on the features, what you have to deliver, for example, in the end of the quarter, but not why, what is the benefit, it was very hard to answer, like, what you're asking about? I do not get that. But after quarter, each and every quarter, it was much easier to focus on it, to think about it, to find an answer, and to define what is the true benefit for the customer, because that question was already in your head. Just it was me saying and asking you throughout the quarter in your head that what is the value of it, start thinking about it. Yeah, so that is the case. And what I observed after some quarters working with this group is that with each and every time that we have been discussing it was much easier. So we came to a level that for everyone it was already, I would say, obvious that we are asking it and obvious that we have to focus on it. I mean, you as a product owner in that case, of course. And I get that sometimes it is also a dangerous question. Just to be honest with you, it may be a dangerous question because you never know what the answer would be, especially when you are thinking about your own life and start being not only doing something for others, but you want to do something for yourself. That is why you may discover something that is totally different from what you're doing now. And it is up to you then what to do with that next. And sometimes where it is hard for you to deliver a like find a purpose and define it. Sometimes, of course, it is much easier just to start working with someone like a coach, for example, as I am working with my clients. If it is sometimes too difficult, due to different reasons, to start this journey on their own, you may just schedule a session, as my clients are doing that with me, and we go through those elements and we dig deeper, and you are learning how to work on that on your own as well. So, leading yourself and gaining truly important objectives, like truly important for you, it is like climbing up a hill, climbing uphill road. And this metaphor I heard from John Maxwell, and I do love that, because if you think about when you're climbing, you see the goal you want to achieve. So you're going up this hill and just climbing step by step, every minute, every day, and you are the one making decision which direction you're going, or whether this hill is something that you want to be on top of. Yeah. And of course, I do understand that down the hill road is much easier, and it is less tiring, of course, and often it is faster. But in the end, you will not find the goal that you want to achieve. So it has to be a little bit, I would say, hard. And this is exactly what also was found out by Harvard cognitive scientists. Because based on their studies, if you want to learn new things, it doesn't really matter if it's new knowledge or new skills, it has to be a little bit hard for you. So you have to have the feeling that, okay, it is pretty hard. So, or it is a little bit hard for me. If it's totally easy, like an easy peasy thing, then probably it means that you are not learning. You are using the methods, or you are not using the right methods, or you are using the methods maybe in the wrong way. I mean the wrong, so it will not be an outcome that you want to achieve. Yeah, it is not efficient simply. So that is the case, climbing up the hill step by step each and every day. So if you know already your purpose and your objectives, and you know that it has to be a little bit hard, then it is time to set your strategies and tactics. And we're not about exactly which strategies and tactics are the best for you, because simply there are thousands of tactics and methods available, and really there is nothing like one size fits all, because you have to adapt what for your situation is the best. Within this series, we'll talk about different tactics and methods. So after some time, you will be able to see what are the possibilities there, and you may pick on your own what in your situation it is the best ones, at least as a starting point. Because here we come to this next step, I would say. I always suggest my clients to pick like few, up to 3 tactics for starters, or 3 methods for starters. Why is that? Because very often we are focusing on how we want to do that, so on the method how we want to achieve, and we forget to exactly do the thing that we want to do. So we are focusing and devoting our time to understand the methods, the tactics, the tools that we can use, and we do not have already enough capacity to focus on what we wanted to do. Very often also, if you, for example, read a book like 100 ways how to, let's say, learn faster. Yeah, very often you may think or hear something like this, or read a book like that. Then after reading it, you are saying, okay, great, so I understand or know more or less 100 tactics, but what to do with that next? So pick 3, up to 3. The first ones that you think that, okay, I get what are those about. Maybe there are some in some way common with what I've done so far, or maybe they just relate with what am I doing. Yeah, so those are the elements. And then step by step act. So simply do the things that you want to do using the tactics, the methods you have tried. And very often we forget about important elements. So actions taken on daily basis and decisions made on daily basis matter the most. So it is much more important for you to do something as a repetitive action. So you're using, for example, only those two methods or tactics, and also having in mind the purpose that you have, and to do that repetitively. And the decision you are making, whether I'm focusing on my goal today or I will start in a week, that impacts the most your results. So we are coming to the next dimension of self-leadership, agile self-leadership. So what does it mean in that context? So agile, so acting in a way that you are able to make changes as they are needed. So also in the context of self-leadership, you are making changes in your behaviors, in your actions. You are changing the tactics from the three beginning ones to different ones, exactly where, when and where they are needed. So this is very important part of the job. So we are not doing things step by step and regularly, not just in the same way, in case we do not have the expected outcome. Here we are coming to the level of inspecting, so how it's going, and then to adapting to, for example, changing environment, and testing, verifying, inspecting, so how it really works out for me, and then adapting your actions, your plans, the way you're operating exactly to the changing reality, and the changes happening also inside you along the way, along the process, because it may change as well. You are verifying whether this is what you wanted to have and wanted to achieve. For example, this is what you actually are achieving with the elements, with the actions, with the methods that you are using. Yeah? And then you are adapting. So we are working in an incremental way, an interactive way, also when you are thinking about your own goals and becoming a leader of self. And just remember, becoming a leader of self, it is not goal as such. It is just also a tool that is helping you, a method that is helping you to achieve what truly matters for you. It is a way of thinking, as a mindset, I would say. Yeah, becoming a leader of self. But you are not just focusing on becoming a leader of self because you just want to be a better leader of self. And in general, if you think about the rules that we just mentioned, it is how a leader of self would proceed. So we have focused on self-leadership. And we know already that without becoming a leader of self, it is very hard, I would say even almost impossible, to be a good leader of a team. But what does it truly mean? That what type of leader you can be? There are many definitions about what leadership is, and also in different languages from different scientists and so on and so forth. But many definitions have in common one element from two parts consisting. So it is a person in control and empowered by others to lead them. So you are, when you are leading the team, you are in control and empowered by others to lead this team. So it can be, of course, the formal, I'd say, the formal dimension, like a line manager, director, a people's leader. It is one of the names of in the organization charts that you may have. And there is also, I would say, informal level or informal dimension. So if you just are the person that people want to follow out of their own will. And of course, it may be combined. The best option is if you are not just the formal one, so the boss of your boss had decided, for example, that this person, this particular, let's call this person Frank, why not, that Frank will be now the manager. And you do not feel that you are empowering Frank to lead you within those structures. Yeah, it is just a former manager. If it's combined, then in this situation, Frank also is empowered, so is able to do also more, to work on a different levels with such a team. And I would encourage you to think about the modern leader, that is a person that is not only managing people in general. We are not managing people, we are managing the tasks. But if we are leading the teams and leading people, then we are supporting them in their reaching their goals and also becoming leaders of self. So how great it is to have a whole team of people that are self leaders, and we may just support them within everything they are doing, and also they are supporting each other, because if you are leader of self, you are not only focusing on you, you are focusing also on your environment. That is the case. There are also different leaders, it's different types of leaders, and they have also different purposes, different roles sometimes. And I want to show you three of them, and I have a small exercise for you as well. I do love exercises, because without exercises you are not learning so effectively. So I have an exercise for you as well. But before that, let's go through the three, I'd say, types of leaders. The first one, this is active leader. So this is like a person driving people to act, to do something. That is why it is active leader. And also this person either might become be formal leader, so someone is observing, oh great, this is an active leader informal in this team, and we want to have a leader of this team like a formal one. Let's promote that person, because he or she is already there, yeah, just without the formalities, I would say. The other type of leader, this is emotional leader. So among others, what this person is doing, he or she identifies the atmosphere within the team, within the group, and supports the team in different actions, like for example during an open or hidden conflict. Especially with the hidden conflict, it is very hard to operate, I would say, and support them, the team. And it doesn't really matter that it doesn't really mean that this person has to be a different person. It may be that those all types are combined in just one leader. That is great as well. And other type is a leader navigator. I do love that part as well. Leader navigator, it is someone who helps to find the solutions, clear, let's say, the path to success for the team. It doesn't mean that this person is doing that for the team. So the team is doing nothing, they're just relaxing, and here comes a leader navigator and does it all. No, it means that this person is supporting the team to achieve those successes and achieve their goals. And also helps to make the plans realistic, so either not to go to the optimistic road and optimistic thinking, very optimistic, and to pessimistic, that oh nothing, we will not manage anything, and so on and so forth. No, this is a person that is a navigator, that is helping people to achieve what they want to achieve. And the exercise I have for you, this is to look around your team dynamics. So think about the team you are in, or either the team you are leading currently, and think from the perspective of those three types of leaders. Look at who the leader is and what type of leadership activities or leadership traits this person has, and to which actions team is empowering that person. So this is an exercise for you just after listening to this whole episode. So let's go to the teams level. So we have been talking only about like individual, about a person that is self-leader or leader of a team, but how does it all support self-managing teams and teams in general? So let's assume, and I do encourage you to take this assumption into your mindset that you have, that all the team members are capable of leading themselves and managing their work. So they do not need a manager who is just telling them exactly you have to do that and you have to do this and so on and so forth, and to focus on each and every element. No, they are capable of that because you are helping them as a leader of a team to become a self-leaders. So the team understands also the purpose, the objectives of their work and the client's needs. And in that case, if we have team like that, they need a leader who will serve them and they support them in finding the core directions and defining the vision and mission, and also incorporating that into what they are doing, the vision and mission of the company. We'll talk about it more in 3 weeks or 2 weeks time as well. We'll be talking about high performing teams as well. And they do not need someone who will be discussing each and every detail and making for them the decisions for each and every detail of their work, because you are working with the experts in their field. And if you are thinking, okay, but my team is not there, so your role is to help them to go there, not to do the work for them. Because without it, if you go that work just to be a micromanager, so they will never reach the level you want them to achieve, or at least I want them to achieve, and I keep fingers crossed for them as well. And here comes the self-organization concept and self-managing. So in biology, for example, when we think about self-organization, then it means that situation where some forms of overall order arises from the local interactions between parts of initially disordered systems. And the process of that can be spontaneous when simply sufficient energy is available. So it is without anyone just commanding what to do, just some form of overall order arises. And what you need to do for that as a leader, it is for you to provide the energy for that and sufficient energy for the team to self-organize. And they do not need, either the team or in organisms or in biology, they do not need any type of control by external agent. Everything they can do on their own. They just need the environment that is ready for it. So what is the role of nowadays leader then? First of all, support the team with what they need or may need in future, because you are the one with this particular role to support them, to provide them energy for it, and help them to find those directions, the purpose, and help them grow, help them find their answers on their own, and self-organize and self-manage. And this is not doable without not being conscious of yourself, so aware of yourself as well. So here we are coming to the level of being self-leader. It is very hard to be a leader or a team not to understanding yourself, your actions, your beliefs, the ways of thinking, being able to manage your tasks, your knowledge as well. So all the elements of being a leader of self. And when you reach that level, you are able to also help others within this work and also help the team to create a better team. So once again, to underline, it is to intentionally influence yourself to achieve the objectives. This is the level of self-leadership. And then you are going to the next level. So did you like this episode? I do hope so. If yes, please remember to subscribe, like it, and if you prefer to hear it as a podcast, so then go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or other podcast applications, or you may find it as a podcast and the whole episode description as well on my website if you prefer to read it simply, or after listening to read it. And link for that you will find in the episode description. In case you want to discuss more about self-leadership, how to approach it. Also, within the link to my website, you will find also contact details. Write me an email and I'll be more than happy to discuss with you of the next step, something that you may work on your own, or also to get feedback. Did you like it simply, and what were the elements that were helpful? So see you then in the next episode in a week time probably. So how to create your career in an agile environment, and we'll talk about it in the next episode. Thank you and bye bye.